So I'm standing on a pier that goes out into a marsh, and I want to talk about the living and non-living things that I can observe out here in this marsh. Living things, that's easy. I can observe the grass, the trees in the distance. I see those things. Those are living things that I can see. Earlier I saw some birds. I saw them up on the branch. There's one over there. I don't think you can see him on this camera, but he's sitting on there's a hawk sitting over there, so that's a living thing. I also observe other living things. I can hear them. I don't necessarily have to see them. I can hear them too. I hear insects chirping and buzzing in the background. I hear birds. There's a bullfrog out there. So the grass, the bushes, the trees, the birds, the insects, I can see dragonflies flying around. Those are some of the living things that I can see. Also, this one's kind of hard and a little bit weird, but the wood that makes this pier, okay, the deck that I'm standing on, that wood is a living thing. Now, for the purposes of science, we classify that as a living thing. It once was alive. It once was a tree. It once was growing and could reproduce and had to have food and do all the other things that living things do. Now it's dead. That tree's dead, and it's been made into boards that have been used to build this deck. But that wood is classified as a living thing. Non-living things. What non-living things do I observe out here? Well, one easy one is this nail. The nails that were used to make the deck. That's a non-living thing. That's made from metal. That was made in a factory. That metal was dug up from the ground. It's a mineral. That metal was a mineral that came from iron ore. It was never alive. It never grew. That metal never grew. Metals don't grow. They don't reproduce. They don't need food. They come from the ground. They're part of the earth. That's a non-living thing. Other non-living things. How about the air? Air's part of what I observe out here. I can feel it on my skin as the wind, that light breeze blows by. Air is a non-living thing. The water down in the marsh, that's a non-living thing. Water is a non-living thing. The dirt, the soil, the mud that makes up that marsh is made up of a combination of both living and non-living things. Later on, we'll look at the mud that makes up the marsh, and we'll talk about the living parts of the mud and the non-living parts of the mud. The sky, that's the atmosphere. That's a non-living thing, part of the air. The clouds, that's water floating in the air, condensed water that's floating in the air. That's non-living things. So there's lots of living and non-living things just in this little area right here.